So let me ask you folks, what would you do when she says no more motorcycles? So a little history of, you guys knew I was coming out today, didn't you? Little history of, quick history of my riding before I started getting big touring motorcycles. I had a 2016 Street Glide Special, and at the time I bought that bike, my wife was not necessarily excited that I bought a motorcycle, let alone riding that motorcycle. So I loved that Street Glide Special. It was denim black, not a fan of denim at all, but it was a great bike. And then we met some friends, the Harley Day Riders, and Jack and Mary, and started to ride together and hang out together. And if you have a Street Glide Special, it's probably not the most comfortable motorcycle for a passenger if you're doing some touring. And Mrs. Bodine, while we were actually at a stop, I was inside getting a thing of water from a gas station. Mrs. HDR was in there as well. And we left our spouses out by the bikes for security. And come back out, next thing I know, my wife says, I think we should get a big touring bike. Let's sell this one and ride together. And I'm like, have you lost your mind? And I looked at him and I said, what did you do? What did you say to my wife? So that's the start of it. And then I actually went and bought a 2018 Ultra Limited. I love that bike. She went by the name of Big Mama, and that's right. If you're new to the channel, I name my bikes. Or in some cases like this one, my wife names my bikes. That's a whole different story. But I had that bike for a couple years. We rode it a lot together. And then I decided I want to upgrade to, or change out to a Road Glide Limited. Tour pack, lots of room. Great touring motorcycle. But then the other night she does say to me, would you have kept the Street Glide Special, and or if I didn't ride with you anymore, would you sell the one you have? And I'm like, what the heck is going on? So check this out, folks. I don't know if you heard or not, but we had some crazy storms in Michigan last week, like tornado stuff, turned cars over on the interstate. It's the first time since I was a kid that I actually did go to the basement with Mrs. Bodine and the dog and cat because it was that bad. So still kind of cleaning up the state. Fortunately, we are all safe, which was what counts. But I said to Mrs. Bodine, I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, we were going to go ride. We've rode once this year. We were going to go ride last week, but you said you just didn't want to. I'm like, do you not like riding? And she goes, no, I love riding. I'm like, you don't seem to want to go. She goes, well, I know. And I'm like, are you uncomfortable with, worried about safety riding with me? She goes, no, I'm totally feel safe with you, and I love to ride. It's just, what happens if we do get in an accident? Who's going to help take care of my father? And I'm like, I understand, baby. That's why Mrs. Bodine is the nicest person on the planet. But let's get back and talk about, would I make a change in bikes? So this is actually Chelsea, Michigan. I had a bright idea of coming through town, but this is the county fair time. It's kind of a rural area. I used to live in the city. I'm about 10 miles out of here now. And they have this fair, and part of the fair on Saturdays is a parade. So all the kids that, win the best pig contest, and they have like derbies and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. But you can see that this entire town all the way down is loaded up with people on both sides, as all these folks are coming through the parade. We just missed some horses. It's actually pretty cool, big annual event. I miss doing this. Some old cars. That looks like an old hearse. I don't know if you guys can see that right there. It looks like an old hearse. People just lined up all over. Small town USA has not died, folks. If I go home and bring Mrs. Bodine to the fair and buy her one of those cotton candies, which I think is disgusting, and walk around and look at animals, does that count as a date? So if I look back to that time where I upgraded from that Street Glide Special, if I knew my bride was not going to ride, I may have, or probably would have still sold the Street Glide Special, but I may not have bought a bigger cruiser. I just may not have. I may have, or I probably would have bought a new Road King at the time, or maybe I would have bought a Road Glide Limited, not a Road Glide Limited, but a regular Road Glide. I guess there are Road Glide Specials that don't have the tour pack. So I guess I would have definitely gone down a different path had she not decided to keep riding. And I am glad she did, because we have a fabulous time riding and touring and going places. And for those of you that are regulars, I know that you like her more than me. I get it. I think she may be out for one more ride, but I am definitely not going to press her on that. So let me ask you folks, what would you do when she says no more motorcycles? For me, I am definitely going to respect that, because I know that'll come around. Is probably, or hopefully, in a stage that she's at right now. And I will tell you this, I would not, if she said, I've just decided I'm not going to ride anymore, I would probably keep this bike. I've done so much to it. I love it. I would probably take the tour pack off permanently, I would think. Just that lighter, sportier look. And I know that I can, get a kit that I can take it on and off, but I ain't going to do that. I'm just not. I got a million custom dynamics in the back of my bike, and which I love, by the way. By the way, at the end of this, I'll link a couple custom dynamics videos, because if you're looking for upgraded lights, they're fantastic. Matter of fact, somebody said to me in town today, they're like, man, we love the back of your bike because we can see you. I almost gave them a lecture, and you should be able to see me without the lights, but different story. But I would probably take the tour pack off, leave it off, and not trade in the bike. But back in the day when she said that, I'd have probably went in a different direction. How about you? What would you do? What would you have done? And if your significant other rides with you right now and they said, I'm done, would you change bikes or keep what you're riding right now? Let me know, folks. I'd love to hear back from you. You all be safe out there. Did I say you all? That's right. I got a little southern in me today. Be safe, everybody. Check on a friend. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.